Hi everybody, welcome to the Actors Academy. Thank you for tuning in today. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most important things that an actor can ever do, which is listen. Any acting class you're going to go to, and you've probably experienced this before if you've actually been to an acting class, is that they will tell you have to listen. Now this is great, and it's true. You do have to listen as an actor. The one problem I have though, is if this is such an important point, and people talk about it all the time, why don't they tell you how to achieve it? Now it's very tricky, but it's also not tricky at the same time. It just depends on how you're actually learning it. The equivalent though, to give you guys a quick example, would be this. If I gave you a basketball and you've never shot a basketball before, I give you a basketball and I say, okay, here's the net, go and throw the ball into the net. And now you're trying, you're throwing the ball different ways. And then I look at you and I tell you, okay, well your form is wrong. Okay, then you go and you do it again. No, your form is wrong. And over I tell you your form is wrong. Because it's wrong. Now, does that help you though, if you're trying to get the ball into the net? No, I'm not telling you how to shoot the ball at all. I'm not telling you how to change your form, what you should do, where you should stand. I'm just saying your form's wrong. That's the same with acting when people tell you, well, you gotta listen. No, that's not it. You gotta listen. It doesn't help the actor. And this is one of the big problems that I have with people who are teaching classes telling you, hey, you gotta listen, but then they don't tell you how to listen. Einstein had this great quote that said, if you can't explain it simply, then you don't know it well enough. And if your instructors can't explain to you how to listen, well then they probably don't know all that much of what they're talking about. Some of them will be able to, which is great, but the ones who can't, this is a very important point. If they tell you so much you gotta listen, well they also should be able to tell you, okay, how do you listen? Now, here's the important thing that you have to realize with acting. Acting, like anything else, it is an art. But it also takes time and practice. You want to be a great painter? You got to practice it. You want to be great at piano? You got to practice. Or anything else. You want to do sports? You got to practice in order to be good at sports. You want to be good at math? You got to practice in order to be good. With your acting, you have to practice your acting in order to be good. Now, the great thing about acting is we are the instrument. And everything that we do in our everyday life helps affect what we do with our acting. So that's the great thing. We're always kind of practicing. But now, if I give you a piano and you're practicing all the time, but you're practicing mistakes, what's going to happen? Well, when you actually play and perform for people, you're going to go and make quite a lot of mistakes. Same with your acting. You are your instrument, so you're going out through your everyday life. If you're doing things that are detrimental to your actually acting ability, it will affect it. So for example, one of the reasons for listening that it doesn't work for people is because in our everyday lives, we've kind of stopped listening to people. And here's what I mean. In the 50s, we listened a lot more. We got into conversations a lot more with people. Now, we don't. And here are some examples of this. How many times before have you gone and you've purchased something at the store and you're in line, you put your products out on the conveyor belt, the product goes, the person's scanning it, they say, hey, how are you? And you say, oh, I'm good. You're pulling out your credit card. How are you? You swipe it, and then you take your groceries, and you go. Many people do this. You stand in line, you'll see everybody in front of you is doing this. Everybody who's going to come after you will also be doing this. Now, it's polite, but the only problem is we're going into autopilot mode. And if we go into autopilot mode every single day of our life with most of our interactions, when we bring it forward into our scenes when we're acting in a movie, a TV show, a play, doesn't matter, anytime you're acting, we're going to be in an autopilot state because that's what we're practicing with our instrument every single day. Now we do this all the time. We're walking in the halls, we see people, we ask them, hey, how are you doing? They say good, how are you? We say good, then we keep going. We're not actually listening and actually talking to people. We're just going through an autopilot state. How many times before have you been on your phone and you're with your best friend? You guys are at your house and they're asking you something or they're talking and you guys are both on your phones. Nobody's looking at each other, looking into each other's eyes, listening, reading people's body language, reading what they're saying. They're just kind of going and they're going with emotions and saying, yeah, that's right. How would it be if on this video I just was on my phone the whole time and said, okay, so when it comes to listening, this is what you have to do. It requires 1, 2, A, B, C, D. You would think, what is happening? Why isn't he paying attention to me? That's what everybody would think if they're watching this. Why isn't he paying attention to the topic that he's talking about? Yet, in our everyday lives, we don't mind doing this. You go out to dinner with people, your family or your friends, doesn't matter. Most of the people there are going to be all on their phones. Again, nobody's listening, talking to each other, actually getting into a conversation. And this is the practice that we're doing every single day in our real life. And again, our real life equates to our acting because we're still the same instrument. We're still using our physicality and our voice, because remember, when we're acting, we're just bringing different versions of ourselves. If we have to play a scene and we're happy, we're going when we're happy. Depends on the level of happiness. You know, we've been extra happy in life, moderately happy in life, and so-so happy in life. Depends what the scene needs. Sometimes the scene may need us to be extra happy, moderately happy, or so-so happy. But we're bringing ourselves into the scene. But in our everyday life, if we're just going around and we're going on autopilot, we're going to bring autopilot into the scene. So you want to know how you can start getting better at listening? Start actually listening in your everyday life. That will help you so much more when you actually go into the scenes. This is the best way that you can practice it. And remember, you're not going to get great in one day. It's like if I give you a basketball and I show you how to shoot it perfectly. It doesn't matter who it is. Anyone can show you how to shoot the basketball. You're not going to be great tomorrow. You're going to miss a lot of shots. You have to practice it every single day. Same with listening. You got to practice it every single day. Now, there are acting games for this. So you may go to an acting class that lasts for 1 or 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours. But you go to an acting class and you guys will do some acting games, some warm-ups in the beginning. So you go, okay, you spend 10, 15 minutes on a warm-up, and then you're going out for the rest of your class. Well, there is a listening game where you're looking into a person's eyes and you guys are going and you guys are just saying what you notice about the person. So you might say, okay, you're wearing a white shirt. You have blue shoes. You have so-and-so. Okay? But that's only 10 to 15 minutes out of your entire day. What I'm talking about is actually practicing in your life listening. When you practice in your life listening, that will help you so much more when you get into your acting and you actually have to be in the scene and listen to the person you're talking to. Now again, it takes practice. So you spend the whole day tomorrow listening, you got your acting class the next day, you're there, and you're going and the instructor says you're not listening. Well, it's because it takes time and it takes practice. And you know that. And as long as you know that you're working on it, and maybe you get the comment and they say, hey, you're not listening, that's fine. Because maybe you're not listening today. That doesn't mean though, when you're practicing it, that in the next 2 weeks your listening will be far better than it is now. Or maybe 4 weeks, it'll be a lot better than it is now. But you have to practice it. Again, acting is something that you have to practice. There's elements to it that can help. Listening, you want to listen more in a scene, listen more in your everyday life, because again, you are your own instrument. Now you can do these acting games. If you love the acting games, great. But again, I'm not a fan of them when they only take up 10 to 15 minutes. And again, you don't want to do this acting game when you're staring at someone for a whole 18 hours in your day. You don't want to do that. You want to go and live your life and do whatever you're going to do throughout your day. So listen in your everyday life, and that will help you so much more for your listening skills. Alrighty? So I hope this makes sense to you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you can be up to date with everything. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. Also, I'll be leaving the 10-hour acting masterclass down in the description below and also in the comment section if you guys are interested in that. It takes about 2 minutes to sign up. Also, I'll be leaving the 10 acting resume templates down in the comment section and description as well. Alrighty? See you guys next time. Bye, guys.